Perfect example of the media having no accountability. Mm-hmm. Right, Amazon and big tech and Parler is just racist, right? They just say that because they think they have no accountability with the media. Just like the media is hoping that you don't remember the polls. So what they do is they just gloss over it, like Nate Silver. Bet you regret that bumper sticker from 2008. It was also 2016. Could have been any election where he's wrong.
Before 2016.
Yeah, before 2016. That's right. Here he is talking on some show saying, "Oh, the polls got it mostly right."
Perhaps there are many things that make polling difficult, and so you just hope to get close, and they usually do get close, including this year for the most part.
Half-Asian lawyer Bill Richmond, does the prosecutor's case hold water?
Nope.
Does it hold water?
Yep.
No. I don't know. He's talking like the Muppets.
Prosecution
He's talking
is
like the Muppets
wrong.
from Sesame Street. Yep.
You said it literally in the show notes. Bill talk like a Muppet.
Well,
Gerald, did you put that in there?
Okay. Did they get it right? All right. So the polls understated. I want to make sure that I get this correct. They understated the percentage of the Republican vote in 48 of 50 states. Okay? 15 of the 16 Senate races.
That sounds like mostly.
And by the way, if they were saying that these are good, because remember, everyone kind of acknowledged, what was the argument? They were saying, well, no, it's not 2016. Right. They're saying this isn't 2016.
We've
it's
done
different.
better.
They counted for the secret Trump voter. So how do you say now the polls got it mostly right when it was widely acknowledged that you were wrong in 2016? And the margins are actually worse than 2016 in this election. And this isn't even including all the ballots that just were run through like you're counting cash in a back room. So across the presidential swing states, the average error was 5 points. The Senate, 7 points.
Oh. Is that close?
7 points, 5 points. I don't know if that's the margin of error. Again, I think I already told you guys to hit the notification bell. Here's what was most interesting to me. Specifically, the most, here, you know what? I don't even have my iPad here anymore. That's just because I had to roll those clips.
There you go.
Specifically, the most respected polls from 538, right? 538,
Right.
Nate Silver.
Yeah.
I wonder I would love to see if we could actually have a Google trend on the sales of Nate Silver bumper stickers.
Ooh, yeah.
Research.
See.
Me guess it's a reverse hockey stick.
We'll ring the reg bell.
So the most respected polls, so I took the polls from 538, because here's the thing, I say an average of 5 points off. That's including Trafalgar and Rasmussen in the polls that were actually close to being right, that leaned more conservative. You take them out, the numbers are very different. Now they're off by anywhere from 7 to 9 points. Some would say Nate Silver's margin of error. So I've only taken the ones with an A, some A minus or A or A plus rating.
Okay.
Florida, we'll start with this. Florida, President Trump won by 3.2%. The number one ranked Marist poll, according to 538, trust Nate Silver, had Biden at +4. The number 2, A plus ranked Monmouth, had Biden at +6. Number 4 ranked New York Times Siena had Biden at +3. All of them, aside from ABC, and that's an outlier for them here, they had Biden winning. The top pollsters with Florida undercounted support by an average of 6 to 8%.
Wow.
6 to 8%. And here's something important, by the way. This is after they all of a sudden closed the gap coming into Election Day.
Right, yeah.
The further you go back, meaning a week or 2 weeks from election, they were off by 12 points in many of these states.
That's insane.
That's a victory margin in, like, Idaho. They were off by 12 points.
At what point do you just say, well, we just don't need polls anymore?
Well, they got
going to be off by 12.
They got it mostly right.
Yeah,
Mostly.
if it's plus or minus 12, it's
Mostly
like it's
peaceful
useless.
poll.
And I have to say, even though they're not respected anymore, they were once the gold standard. Now they're ranked a B at 538. So still, that's a passing grade. Quinnipiac,
something.
They were off by 15.
15.
They were off by 15%.
You can just see
Did they
the
poll-
tongue lashing that's happening there in the back room. They're like, "What is wrong with you?" And just like beating them
They're like,
mercilessly.
I polled the office, and that's what we said.
No, wait,
15.
it gets worse. Because remember election night, I said, I don't know why people are saying Florida and Ohio are swing states. They're
Right.
And even I argued with Ben Shapiro, I said
You
I
did, I
would be
remember
far
that.
more surprised if Ohio went blue than Texas.
And I hoped you didn't have to eat your words on that one. I wasn't sold
That's
completely.
because
Gerald just said he didn't believe you.
he didn't believe
I
me.
believed him, but I was like, oh man,
I would
this
like
is-
to bet
this would be really bad.
substantially more than $1.
I got it. Yeah.
Shut it, Nautica.
That's why we'll talk more about Sidney Powell, obviously, for those who are Mug Club exclusive and
Yeah.
take your chat, because we don't know. We're not making predictions on
Right.
that. We're not making any promises. But I did make the promise on air.
You did.
I said Florida and Ohio are going Trump. I would say that it was a pretty decisive victory in Ohio. President Trump won by 8.2%.
Ooh.
So that's significant. Again, we have Marist.
Not if you're a
the
pollster,
We're
that's
just
not-
going the number one through the top rankings according to 538.
Sure.
Trust Nate. But break up his Thanksgiving gathering. His last name's Silver. We don't need to tell you that there are probably quite a few other Silvers in that household that need to be broken up. Call Cuomo. A lot of curly sideburns. So Marist had Biden at +4. Wrong by 12%. Emerson, wrong by 9%. New York Times, off by 9%. And again, the further back you get from the election, meaning if you get right up to Election Day, the gap's all of a sudden closed. But if you were taking the polls from 6 days before, 2 weeks before, they were off by 12, 13, depending on these 14%, which, by the way, was the exact same trend with Hillary Clinton. People say, well, anything was up in the air with this election. This is always what happens. And there have been studies that have been conducted. It's not necessarily been conclusive that polls are used to manipulate public opinion, that they can actually affect people going out and voting if they think there's no chance in winning or if they think that they're that far ahead. On Election Day, we have the final number. Yeah, Election Day, the top-ranked pollsters, according to 538 Trust Nate, undercounted Trump voters in Ohio by 8 to 12%.
Aww.
3 weeks before Election Day, it was 10 to 15%.
Jeez.
Hey, let me ask you this. What if I were to say, hey, that mask, it's only 88% effective? By the way, it's less. But my point is, you probably wouldn't feel as secure. With the polls, who cares? Just the future of the free world at stake. And by the way, this is something funny, really funny. New York Times had it off by 11 or 10% in Ohio on 3 separate occasions. They did polls. They're like, no, we've corrected for the secret Trump voter. Oh, you did. So you polled 3 times, New York Times, America's most respected publication. And you had Biden winning by, how close were you? We were about 13 points off. How much did Trump win by? Over 8%. And you're still employed? We don't expect it to last very long.
Yeah. Well, and how do you account for a secret voter?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Well, they just said it didn't exist.
Super secret.
I thought their goal was to be accurate.
These polls are as bad as those like preseason college
Oh,
football.
wait, sorry.
players.
One time I had that mixed up. That was
Notre
Wisconsin.
Dame up
Sorry,
front.
that was Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
Biden won by 0.6. New York Times polled in Wisconsin 3 separate occasions, and they were off by 10 to 11%. Sorry, continue with your point.
I was just saying Notre Dame's overrated.
Oh, okay.
That's not true.
So is Wisconsin.
Y'all, historically,
They didn't even say that.
you guys fall more on average from preseason rankings than any other teams.
Here's
not true.
Speaking of Wisconsin, this is the one that's best. They're ranked they're A+ ranked by Nate Silver. Trust Nate. They undercounted Trump voters in Wisconsin by 17%. So remember this.
Wow.
This is when you had people saying it's over. No one has ever come back from a 17-point lead.
Yeah.
You saw everyone in the media saying that. No one's ever come back. It's over. And you had some people who actually didn't show up to vote because they thought, well, it's a 17-point lead.
What's the
was
point?
0.5 in Wisconsin. 20,000 votes. But you mean to tell me that won't affect public behavior if people believe that their guy is down by 17 points according to the most respected A++ ranked pollster according to professional snake oil salesman in chief Nate Silver? Something else too. The House, by the way, this is a big one. The final 538 projection had Democrats gaining seats. This was something that was widely accepted.
Right,
Everyone believed that they were going to be gaining seats. Even on the night of election, Fox News. The most trusted name and shit. Fox News' polling, it was so bad they still projected, we were there on election night, Democrats expanding their House majority by at least 5 seats. This is election night.
The Fox News Decision Desk can now project that Democrats will retain control of the House of Representatives and expand their majority by at least 5 seats.
I hope you can run that stinger and rewind. We screwed up.
Yeah, we wrong.
Because this surprised me. Republicans picked up 9 seats and are actually leading in several of the undecided races still.
Nice.
Going on in the Senate.
That's fantastic.
Here's another one specific example, then we have to go. In Maine, this is one that a lot of people now don't remember because the media doesn't talk about it because there's no accountability.
Yeah.
They basically acted like, remember Republican Susan Collins, like, oh, it was just a death sentence. She has no chance.
Not at all.
Matter of fact, so Susan Collins is a perfect example. There was not a single poll, not one, that had Susan Collins winning. Some of them had the Democrat Sarah Gideon up by as much as 12 points.
Whoa.
Wow.
12 points. Susan
to be an
Collins won by
average.
9.
Wow.
She won by 9 points?
Wow.
I don't remember a poll showing Collins winning by 9 points. 9
How many?
points.
How many?
That's a swing of 21. So but now there's people who go, well, the polls are mostly right. No, listen.
No.
If you were to hold yourselves accountable, media and big tech, you would sit yourselves down and you would flog yourself with that guy who was the actor in Wimbledon and Da Vinci Code wearing a burlap sack. You deserve to be punishment. You performed bad. Your polls were bad, and you should feel bad.
Watch Good Morning Mug Club live every Monday through Thursday at 10:15 Eastern.